welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Education for Tuesday, August 16th, 2016. Roll call, Mrs. Torino.
Okay, Simmons.
Present.
Oda.
Oda.
Yeah, here.
Carroll. Present. Marks. Present. Forrest. Here. Huckabee. Here. Paredes.
Here and quorum is present. First on the agenda, we have audience comments. And we have Ms. Ganteros has wished to make some comments about Parker.
Okay, I will try to be brief. I just want to say, I know that Mr. Naminsky left the district, and towards the end of the year, I actually had a conversation with him and told him I wanted to talk to him about discipline problems at Parker. This is just as well that we didn't have that conversation since he's gone now. So I hope when you folks are looking at who would replace him, I just want you to be aware of some of the things that go on during the year. Some of you are parents and have kids at Parker and you already know, but I can tell you my 8th grader every night, every week was telling me about fights in the lunchroom and language and much worse than the previous 2 years. So it seems to me like a lot of the issues were inconsistencies in applying the discipline problems, applying the discipline rules, and it was unfair. And for my son, there was a perception that people could just get away with stuff. Like there were rules in place, but sometimes they applied and sometimes they didn't. And so he was going to come with me, and he felt strongly enough that he wanted to sit down with the principals and say, this is what happened, and you got to do that. So I hope that whoever you find to fill this space will be somebody who is not afraid to follow the rules, who's not afraid to fairly apply the rules to everybody, and not afraid to maybe be the bad guy if necessary, and just be fair.
Ms. Garrett,
So-
were you, I'm sorry, you're finished. Were you at the June board meeting with the discipline program that will be?
I think I was at the meeting. I know I was at the meeting where they talked about the handbook. And someone on the board, when they talked about the hair color thing, and somebody said, is that even a thing? Like, does anyone care about that? And interestingly, yes, it did come up. And that was a perfect example because I'm a person who he was told your hair color is unacceptable, it doesn't follow the rules. And he's a good kid, and he probably would have backed down, except he looked around and here's 10 other people with unnatural hair color, and they are not being told that their hair is a problem. So it just wasn't fair. And he was like, he's a good kid, and he's not a troublemaker, and it was just the unfairness he objected to. He didn't care about his hair. It was the unfairness.
Thank you.
Think about that.
Thank you, Mrs. Ganteros. Next on our agenda, we have the superintendent's report. Dr. Duffy.
Thank you, Ms. Curtis. I have 5 items. Number 1, update on enrollment numbers. We are climbing nicely. I have numbers from early this morning, but we're at about 2,259 students so far. So we had to open up a 3rd grade section at Heatherville because the numbers are growing. Couple classes that we're looking at Western Avenue, right now we're capped at 5th grade, and we're keeping a close eye on that. Our overflow for them, of course, would be Serena Hills. And then we're also watching a little bit of our kindergartens at a few of our schools. So we're doing okay so far, and things are going well. Number 2, August 18th is our first day for staff. We will have half of our staff going to Western this morning, and we'll have half of our staff going to Parker. And we'll have Dr. Steve Van Beckron, who will be studying the mindset. He'll be giving theory about discipline and restorative practices. He's very well known for what he does, and the staff will be learning about that. Next, and then the other part of the staff will be going to Western and to Parker, and what they will be doing is learning about the practical parts of restorative justice, balanced discipline, and they will be going through some activities to assist them with our students in the classroom. For example, circles that we'll be using, how to build relationships. So what we want to do on that day is give theory, and we want to give application and some tools for their tool belt as we go on. There'll be continued information at our next board meeting in August. We will have information from Governor State University. They will be presenting with us on our program for what we are doing throughout the year. So we're excited about that. And many teachers have been in their classrooms already. I just finished my facility walkthroughs today on our last 2 buildings, and the classrooms are looking nice and they're ready to go. So we appreciate that. Number 3, first day of classes will be on August 22nd. That's a full day. Just reminding the board, the law has changed on that. We've had full days now for the last couple of years, as well as the last day will be for full days. And then I would like to, Mr. Stashak here, I would like to thank you. Today we finished our last walkthrough for our facilities, and they're very good. And we found minimal things today that we had to correct before students arrive on Monday, but the buildings was the best they've looked. So nice job. Entire staff, thank you. And then with the board Senate bill training, our Senate bill 100 training, I talked with our attorney about that, and I gave a foundational information to the Board of Education. If you remember that PowerPoint's kind of some highlights. And what we understand is that is probably appropriate enough, and as more training comes on throughout the year, as far as the community and those things, we can offer information to you, and I'll let you know when these classes come in. So if you are interested in that, I'll let you know the board update, but there's not been a lot that's really changed on it. The only thing that you really need to know about are the suspension letters. There's a 1 through 3 day suspension out, and then the 4 through 10, and you need to make sure that the interventions are addressed, and you can explain those to the families of those children that are being suspended. Also, there is an entry plan. We'll meet with every parent that comes in that has been suspended, so that we can make sure that we set up resources and proper support for the students. So those things are about it. The expulsion, we're in good shape. We've always done a nice job with our expulsion paperwork, and if something of that nature had to happen, we would show the interventions that took place. If it was something that was a crisis type of mode emergency where a child was expelled, the format and procedures that we use at this point are appropriate. So any questions? That's my last item.
So what type of communication will there be to parents and the community more about Senate Bill 100?
At the open houses, we're going to have a little bit about that. The PowerPoint's already been completed. And then we will send information out inviting, that's part of our Governor State type of activities that will take place, where we'll have a few workshops, maybe one in the fall and definitely one in the spring, talking about that. And there'll be some discussions, and then the schools will be promoting some the balanced discipline types of things for the highlights. So it's not a huge change.
So, and maybe this is a question better for our next meeting, since Governor State people will be here, but is there, how will the implementation of our new disciplinary approach be evaluated? How will it be evaluated? Who is evaluating it, and how often will it be evaluated?
We'll provide that information to you at the next meeting. That's part of it.
That's fine.
Okay? Any other questions?
All set. Okay, next on our agenda, we have consent agenda items. We have 3 items. We have meeting minutes of the regular Board of Education from July 11th, 2016, and executive session meeting July 11th, 2016 as well. We also have appointment of independent hearing officers. as well as gifts from district PTO, reimbursements for retired teacher gifts, $473.30 on behalf of the board. We'd like to thank the PTO and our representative, Ann Piros, tonight for such a generous gift. Continuous generosity. So I will entertain a motion. I will entertain a motion to accept consent agenda items as presented. Mrs. Worth is first, Mrs. Harold is second. Can we roll call Mrs. Marino?
Okay, Odom?
Yes. Mrs. Odom, are you still with us?
I have a question. So you're not offering that
Yes.
discussion before vote?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, pardon me for just a second, Mrs. Odom. We have a question. Did you wish to?
Yeah, I do. I just want clarification. Can you remind me as to why we're getting an independent hearing officer? It's all yearly from that.
It's a non-biased approach, and what happens is the hearing officers come in if there is an expulsion hearing, for example, that's when we use them. They listen to the case, and then, they're just like going to court when you're sitting there at the table, and what they'll do is they'll write the report and give a recommendation to the end of the Board of Education on the findings and what they think should happen.
The final decision rests with the board.
The Board of Education, right, and the final
They
decision.
can go with the recommendation, they can go against it, they can do something completely different.
That is correct.
Are there any further questions? Discussion? With that, we roll call Mrs. Marino?
Odom?
Yeah.
Carol?
Yes.
Huckabee?
Yes.
Simmons?
Yes.
Marks?
Yes.
Worth?
Yes.
Paredes?
Yes, and the motion is passed. Next on the agenda, we have information action items, the first being approval of bills. This month's bills were reviewed by Sarah.
An opportunity to look at the bills and talk with a friend about a couple questions I had. I was satisfied with the answer. And as such, I recommend that, make a motion to approve, to approve the bills in the amount of $815,180.32 for the month.
We have a movement, and you second? We have a second with Mrs. Flo. Motion. Any discussion, questions? Sure.
There's a piece on there for IASB pre-conference workshop. I don't remember it being brought to the board and it being approved. I thought
Which one was that?
I think that is, if I'm not mistaken.
it's a $280 expense.
That
It's
is
under
for-
IASB.
That is for the board president workshop?
Right, it's called the leading, actually it says shaping leaders, but I think it's leading leaders is the title of it.
Right. That's,
It's the job of the board president. It's not just for anybody, but we are supposed to talk about board education expenses before they appear in the bills.
that's part of the tri-conference.
Right, I get it, but it's $280 expense that we make this house, it just occurred to me.
Okay, well,
That's all.
if you have any opinion, I'm for it, obviously. I suggested it. Does anyone else have any opinions?
Just a question, I mean, I had no issue with approving that, however, that was a session at the tri-conference?
Yes, it is.
And I know we talked about before, having things approved before they come back in. If this is part of a session that we've already talked about, I just want to make sure, just moving forward, I don't have an issue with approving this, but moving forward, whether it's a part of the tri-conference or something else we previously approved, we're looking for.
It occurs to me it's a separate session that you register separately for outside of the tri-conference. It's not that $5,500 expense for the tri-conference, it's a separate one. And I agree with you, I don't have a problem with it. I have a problem with the procedure, because I think it's a violation of the discussion we had about bringing these things forward to the board. And just to have it hidden, look like it's hidden in the bills, I think is something we want to avoid.
Well,
That's all.
just to clarify, Ms. Marks, this actually is part of the tri-conference. Last year, I had made a request, but I couldn't get in, it filled up very quickly. It is an option in the tri-conference, that's highly recommended for.
There are 5 or 6 other options that are available to all board members. That one is also available. So I understand, but it is a separate expense, and I think it should be treated as all board education
That's
expenses.
fine, that's fine. And if the board wishes to treat anything beyond the basic package of tri-conference as something to discuss, that's fine with me moving forward. And if you guys, for some reason, don't think this is of value, which I highly think it is of value, then that's fine too. Whenever the board is, I will certainly support that.
So the question is about the procedure, and why
Okay,
it's just in the
sure.
bills and why it wasn't approved. I think to be transparent, we should take that out. It should be separately on the vote as a board expense, as a board education expense. The way I think our policy has kind of indicated we're going to aim towards doing
I don't-
in the future. If it's in there now, we talk about it publicly, so I think it's not secretive any longer.
Okay.
But I would recommend that we be transparent with our education expenditures so that all board members know who's attending and what opportunities there are.
Okay, and if you feel more comfortable, I'm more than willing to entertain a motion to take it out and vote on it separately.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay, so then let's amend our motion to, if you don't mind, to accept the bills as presented with the removal of that expense, by which we will then, if we do that though,
Yeah, I'd like to maintain my, the conversation was had, I think the conversation about procedural going forward, I would like to maintain what I recommended, is I'm recommending that we accept the bills as presented in the amount of $815,180.33 as presented. That's,
okay, that's fine.
the conversation about procedures is a little more to that we should consider that going forward. But I look at the bills as they're.
Okay, well then let's vote on this motion, and then in the future, we'll make sure that we're very meticulous about that, and we will address that next week. Okay, fantastic. Ms. Freeman? Yeah, sure. We did. Okay.
Okay, Marks?
No.
Odom?
I think she started with the yes, but we're doing it. Mrs. Odom?
Did you hear me?
No. Yes or?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Huckabee?
Yes.
Ward?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Simmons?
Yes.
Gray?
Yes, and the motion is passed. Next on the agenda, discussion of HYA invoice. Since the June 27th board meeting, when a representative from HYA came in to make a sales pitch for their services, they have since on July 11th sent a bill for $2,000 for their sales pitch. It is my direction that we flatly don't pay this, and that if anybody wishes to pay this, that they should make a motion that we do so. Otherwise, my direction is we need
We need a motion. Do we need a motion on the table to discuss that?
it. It's just an information, and we're giving direction to the superintendent whether we should put it into the bills for this month.
How did HYA come to appear before the board on that?
Well, I offered them the opportunity to come in and offer their services for an executive search.
Why did you think that we would be interested in hiring an executive search firm?
Based on our last meeting, that was the direction that I kind of got from the board, that was what was a good option that we needed to explore.
At the last meeting, the minutes clearly showed that there was no interest from the board in moving forward with the search firm.
I don't think that's what the minutes said, and if it does, then I would make an amendment to change that because,
You can't change what you said or what the board agreed to. There was no agreement from the board to bring a search firm forward to speak with us.
I think that there was
Could you
no.
tell us
I
about
think
the
that there was
conversations
no.
you had with them?
Hold on a second, I will in just a second. There was no agreement on the board in terms of what direction to go at all. So I had offered that to come in and give a presentation as well as a representative from IASB so that we would know our options moving forward, so that we would not be in a situation where we couldn't decide on a candidate for that position and it was August or September. As it turned out, we got a fantastic candidate and the question became moot by the end of the evening. In terms of why they sent, in terms of the letter that they sent, I assured them in no uncertain terms that this is strictly a sales pitch, and that I gave them absolutely no assurances whatsoever that the board would be utilizing their services, but this is strictly an option for them.
Is there a possibility that you're misrepresenting the truth?
There is flatly no possibility of misrepresenting the truth at all. On top of that, as the representative was a former superintendent, she would know perfectly well that an individual board member has absolutely no authority whatsoever to authorize payment to any entity without board approval.
Can an individual board member request the appearance of outside parties to appear before the board without the agreement of the board for those parties to appear to perform services?
They can put it on the agenda by talking to the board president if he thinks that's a good, or she thinks that's a good idea. Or in my case, since I am the board president, I thought that was an excellent idea, so therefore I put it on the agenda.
So you individually want services and a presentation from this firm who has now billed us, and what they bill us, what's the amount they bill us for?
Just to clarify, I did not seek services. I allowed them to come in and demonstrate or offer their services.
Did they ask you if they could come in, or how did this begin?
Well, I suppose I could go back and give you a written detail, but
Just how did you initiate, how was the conversation, how was
I called them
how
up
was
and
this
said,
initiated, you initiated this contact?
I called them up
Okay. And said,
and said, I heard you're the best search firm out there, I've got lots of recommendations. Can you tell me a little bit about your services?
and again, can I ask why you contacted this search firm?
I think I mentioned that before, that there's a lack of clarity after the, I think it was,
Stephen,
yes. Mrs. Odom?
I believe we're repeating the same questions over and over again, and this is beyond the 5-minute limit per person.
You know what,
Are any other questions from anybody else?
Sure, I apologize, Mrs. Odom, you were exactly correct. And, yes, sure.
I just want to know, you didn't understand that they would be charging. That was not your.
Actually, I had a very clear understanding because I told them very directly that, actually I told them on 2 occasions, the board president has absolutely no authority whatsoever to solicit any services that would incur a cost without board approval.
So you didn't think it would be a charge for them to come in and do it?
I think it was well understood that this was strictly a sales call. Whether someone assured themselves of something entirely differently, beyond which flies in the face of their experience in their career, that's certainly on them. But this is what was offered to them.
So if we are in agreement that we will not move forward and pay this invoice, what happens after that? What's next?
Well, what's next is we cross that bridge when it comes to it. They continue to send us bills. We contact our district attorney and have them call them and find out why they keep sending us bills for something of this nature. And at that point, our district attorney, yes, just like any bill that would come in without any ground or foundation.
So is this something we need to vote on?
This is something we need to give direction for. We need to vote. Dr. Duster, this is not a motion. Unless the board wants to make a motion to pay this bill, then we don't have to make a motion at all. We just give direction.
I'm just seeking direction.
How much is the bill for? A dollar amount of bill?
$2,000.
$2,000. Is there correspondence going back and forth? Do we have a document? Do we have a paper trail for this?
I don't know.
Mr. Curtis, is there a paper trail for this?
Let's see, I spoke to the person that came, who was the president of each way. I believe it was like almost a little more than 3 weeks afterwards. I have to check this. That would be, it was a Tuesday afternoon. She had left town. By the time I got the bill, she did not call me after she sent it. This is the first correspondence I had with her, or discussion I had with her. After that evening was in fact a little over 3 weeks later. I do have a date if you're interested. But yes, there's a paper trail.
Could you please share that? I'm
Sure,
asking
go
if
ahead.
that could be shared with the board.
Yep,
When can that be shared with the board?
I can send it tomorrow when I get to it.
With everyone?
Sure, absolutely.
And will that be all of your correspondence and her replying correspondence? All emails
Yep,
and all paper letters?
Sure, absolutely.
Not regular letters that were sent? I'm very uncomfortable with the fact that the board did not approve this. And the board was very clear that we were not interested in having a search firm come to speak in front of us. What I'm seeing is that you, acting as one of 7 board members with no additional authority,
I have a completely different take on
we have a
your perception.
$2,000 bill sitting in front of us from a search firm, and we're looking, you're suggesting that we don't pay a bill, that we're putting the credit worthiness of our school district on the line by disputing a $2,000 bill that we don't know how it came to be, and none of us authorized this presentation.
First of all, well, again, I don't want to drift into a conversation that goes off the
This
agenda.
isn't a conversation, this is just
I, you know
money
what, I
that
accept,
we're being billed for.
I
This
accept
is
your discomfort.
significantly important.
I accept your perspective. I think it's important to our discussion. But I have seen what I believe is the direction that I think we should go. At this point, I think we should let the superintendent know which direction he should go. Is there any further questions on this? Yes, John. Sorry, Mr. Simmons.
So, they obviously believe they were here to ultimately get an educational presentation for which they typically charge.
What they believe, I can't tell you. I can tell you the conversation that I had with her to this effect. What conversation she had with her staff, how she took that information and processed it personally, assurances she may have given other people, I can't begin to tell you. And nor do I, because, nor I want to, because frankly, there's a lot of administrators I know who use this search firm. I am in no way trying to cast shade on them. I'm strictly saying that the information that she provided to the board is based on falsehoods as regards to things that I said, and that in no uncertain terms do I think that we should pay this bill, because I think this is an outrage to some degree that a sales pitch, an uncompelling sales pitch, would result in somebody sending you a bill because later they decided, well, it must have been for educational purposes. That's my point.
So the fact that we had on the agenda a recommendation to approve a hiring, wouldn't it kind of confuse them as to whether that was in fact a business proposal that they were making?
Well, I think that if they had called, clarify that, that's certainly one way to clarify any confusion, which they did not. I let them know what the situation was, what we were looking at in terms of options. They also knew that IASB had made a presentation as well, or was planning to, but their representative was called away to Iowa for a family business. So there's, from my perspective, and the clarity by which I communicated with them, there is no possible way that they could have taken that information anything other than you have an opportunity to make a sales pitch to our district. Good luck, make the best of it, but like all other sales pitches, for example, when Expert was here last year, and 2 other firms to do our strategic planning, we didn't use them. Let's see. whatever they take from that, and whatever conversation they have, I have no control over. I can only control the facts that I give them, which is the truth. And based on that, there's no way that I think we should pay this.
So, okay, your recommendation is don't pay.
Don't pay.
Basically do nothing.
Do nothing.
And are we going to reach back out to them to let them know nothing's coming, or that we dispute this, or?
I'm not planning on it. I don't think we should. If they send us another bill.
Well, I thought I heard you reference including legal counsel to kind of discuss.
Oh, no, yeah, if we keep getting bills for this, I think we should give this to Mr. Fester, and Mr. Fester should call him and deal with it.
So the risk is to us, I think at least twofold, right? It's whether they pursue us for the invoice collections or what have you. I don't know that we got $2,000. There's also a reputation risk because as I don't know the firm, but to your point, I don't dispute it. They are a very well-known, well-respected firm in this business. They may have contacts with other districts. I would dare say we don't avail ourselves of their services should we ever need them in the future, that kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all I
Okay. Any other comments, discussion?
I'm fine with that direction, although I'm not sure that we should just say not, like there shouldn't be some additional follow. I mean, we just say we're not gonna pay it and then we have no more communication with them about the fact that we don't feel like we should pay this bill.
What would you recommend?
I mean,
A letter saying this is preposterous, we're not gonna pay this, or thank you for your letter. Disputed? Okay. I mean,
something. I mean, I just think there's a more professional way to go about disputing a
Okay.
bill other than just saying we're not paying it and then we just wait for them to react.
Okay, and what I would suggest is that we talk to, well, Dr. Dresser, if you have an idea of how to address this, certainly would be interested, but otherwise I would just ask our district attorney, the direction he feels that we should go with this and follow that.
What should we do going forward to prevent this from you from doing this when there is no board agreement to move forward?
You know, I hate to dwell on
This isn't
repetition,
dwelling.
but I think that I think I established very clearly that I felt I had very good reason to pursue this, and
Had no
that.
authority to pursue this. Zero.
I totally disagree with that, but that's
Zero.
okay. I accept your perspective.
Zero.
So I can't,
It's in the minutes of our meeting. We all sat in the meeting. Both of us, you can look at them. Everyone here can look at them, and you can see them. You can watch the tapes, you can watch HYA sit here and present to us and say they were told that we were looking to hire a firm to recruit an assistant superintendent for curriculum. It was very clear on here. It was very clear that they were very surprised that board members asked why they were here and why they thought they were here for that. And the response was very clearly, well, Mr. Paredes told us. This is very clearly something you did, Mr. Paredes. I very much think this is your bill. This is not the school district's bill. We did not agree to this presentation. We did not ask for it. We did not ask you to seek it. And the pile of trouble you've gotten yourself into should not damage the reputation of our school board.
Mrs. Marks, I
And
think
our
you're
district.
vastly
We have
over-exaggerating.
people who do not, who frivolously ask for presentations and then fail to pay for them.
I don't think this was a frivolous request.
It was a frivolous request because the board did not ask you to make that request.
What I did hear that night, we can speak about it a different time, or you now work about how it came to be, but this is about this invoice. And very interesting, what I heard in the meeting was a sales pitch. I heard the specific building I was presenting say, if you choose to use us, which, again, my experience, I have a business, I do about which I'm conscious about how we got here, this is another discussion, but as far as this, I did not even hear in their presentation where there was an expectation that they had this job, and no firm, unless you have a signed contract with Vector, believe that you have a contract. So if they knew that another firm, I am very surprised when I was looking at this, that we actually have this bill. I'm in agreement about not paying it, because it was a sales presentation that, just like we had individuals come in for, the strategic plan, I saw it the same way down. The needs are, which I know that, Dr. Guster brought the people in for the strategic plan. So I too got that piece of it. You're all aware of that. How this came to be, we still have questions about where authority comes from that about, but in this particular case, a bill for a sales pitch. I don't think we should be honored, but I really don't think that, the right course of action is simply just not paying it, not saying it. Because there's a reason why the bill was sent to that, it's been verified with these other ones. Okay, so that's just.
My sense is the bill was sent because it was very clear that it was a frivolous request. That they did work, they were asked to do work without any authority. That's very clear in my sense of why we got the bill. And we can clarify that, which way it's probably in the documentation, and if not, we can certainly.
I want to look at the minutes too. I just remember clearly hearing her saying, if we get this job, if we do this search.
Well, I'm saying when we discussed it,
Yeah.
when we had our discussion about whether or not we would look at that, it was very clear that there was a difference in the board. And then when they appeared on the agenda, that was nothing, the board did not ask for that.
Yeah, I
It was
really
very much
could not disagree with you more on that.
So I'm actually separated the conversation. We talked about one paying a bill, and then the other part was how this came to be. So how this came to be is a bigger discussion about that. He said, as far as paying the bill for what I believe is, again, in the minutes, or not minutes, but look at the video, an outside organization comes to do a presentation before the board in the hopes of getting a contract. You do research. I mean, I've done research, I do presentations, I do a lot, spend a lot of time, not necessarily $1,500 worth of time, but I spend time to get presentations together in hopes of getting a contract. And in the end, you don't get them. We'll use the presentation for something else, but I would never bill a prospective client because when I have a contract with them, it just makes absolutely zero sense. Yeah, that you're now.
Now, tie those things together.
Yeah.
My point is that we need to look at this, and it's on, my feeling is, it's on Mr. Paredes to approve that this was the reason for this charge. It's not our district, the district didn't ask for it.
Mrs. Odom, I think the procedure would be for you to make a motion and be in discussion and move it on. You made such a
I'm
motion?
making a motion to end discussion.
Okay, I second. All in favor, say aye.
Do you have the
I don't,
direction you need for that? Yeah, what is the
no, I
direction?
don't have road.
You said not to pay, not to
It's
pay
not gonna be
the bill,
paid, right.
but the communication or follow-up to the actual organization.
Yeah, do you want me to call or?
I'd like to see what the background is.
One, I
See
think
where-
we
I- I-
acknowledge
I-
we got the bill, we did receive the bill, but we're disputing the bill. There was no contract, and, the means of where this bill, materialized from, so we're disputing the bill clearly. We're not going to pay the bill, but we'd like to know where's the contract that is signed for services, for your services. We understood it to be a presentation.
All right, and that was Pam Holly.
Pam Holly.
I will call her. Hopefully
Just to be clear, Dr. Duster, were you involved with that request at any point, or was it, or were you not until you arrived here at the building?
Was it on the agenda?
tomorrow.
Yes.
So you two talked about it before we talked, so at some point.
No, it's told.
I believe I have a motion on the floor to end the discussion.
We can't motion to end the discussion, so just FYI.
So you were asked to put that on the agenda? You were directed to put the HYA on the agenda?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I thought we were going on Robert's rules, we can make a motion to go to the agenda.
That is
It's Robert's
correct.
rules, correct, am I?
It is Robert's rules.
Yeah,
That's
you're
correct.
saying something I'm not sure that you're correct about.
We
We
can
can
make a
check, but
motion.
I've been looking at these things, just to make sure from a procedural standpoint, and the whole point of it is to move meetings forward to, because we're in a business meeting, so technically, you can't make an action taken in a conversation, but we can check. But you just said that, so I want to make sure we're reading by saying Robert's rules. That this is-
Okay.
All right.
Okay, the next agenda item is discussion of the ISD invoice for $125. This is a cancellation fee from a workshop that Mrs. Odom at the last minute did not make because of illness. Mrs. Odom, do you wish to elaborate on this at all, or? Mrs. Odom?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so
That's-
my suggestion is that we pay this as we have a long-standing relationship with the association. It is within our budget, I believe.
Was it an approved expense?
Well, see, that's where it gets a little tricky, because it did not go through Mrs. Perino. Prior to the sign-up coming out, there was some confusion over whether you're signing up for dinner over the summer for the South Cook dinner meeting, or a series of workshops, or at least one of the series of workshops. And I believe that Mrs. Odom inadvertently signed up for the wrong thing, and that led to her being signed up for this workshop, which again she could not attend. I've actually, Mrs. Odom, if you don't mind, me saying that we spoke about the importance of making sure, and this is true of everybody, that if you do sign up for meetings for South Cook or anything to that nature, that it all runs through Mrs. Perino to avoid any confusion, and should there be a problem, that and that it is easily rectified.
Well, so wait, so I'm sorry, Mrs. Odom paid the, so Mrs. Odom just needs to be reimbursed for this?
No.
She paid it?
No.
Because you would pay this out of your own account, how would the district have paid it?
No, we did not, Mrs. Odom did not attend, because she was ill,
Right?
and we did not pay the ISP, so they sent a bill for the workshop.
But you would have registered. Who registered?
Okay,
Mrs.
that
Odom
is
as an
where,
applicant?
that is where the confusion comes in, because we did not go through Mrs. Perino.
We, or Mrs. Odom? We, who all attended this?
Well, it built into the district, so that's why.
You said we did,
Well,
for Mrs. Kramer, who's we?
well, okay, so in this case, Mrs. Perino, but I was referring to the collective board.
No, you keep saying we didn't go through Mrs. Kramer. Who's we?
Okay, we is the Board of Education.
But the expenses for Mrs. Odom.
The expenses from Mrs. Odom.
So Mrs. Odom didn't go through the Board of
Okay,
Education?
hold on a second, I'm going to clarify this. The bill came to the district. District is who they billed. It was for the workshop that Mrs. Odom missed, that she had signed up for, when she meant to sign up for another one and couldn't attend it anyway.
So we do not sign up independently for sessions that cost money unless we pay for them out of our own pocket and then ask to be reimbursed. So how did this occur?
Mrs. Odom, do you want to clarify or elaborate? From what I understand, this is just procedural errors that resulted in her assigning for the wrong thing, which ultimately, I think, we need to be very careful that we,
When did you turn the line off?
you know, I keep the phone down, literally.
And if she signed up for something independently, did she pay for it? But I want to know, did she sign up and charge this to the district without any knowledge of anyone in the district?
Well, I think that's where the error came in, because typically, board members will sign up for South Cook, and I think that she was confused, and she accidentally signed up for something that she didn't mean to. And Again, she intends.
Wait, she meant to sign up for it, she just didn't. do
Well, I think she meant to sign up for something different.
it. Even if she went to it, it's still wrong.
Well, I think, yeah, generally speaking, this is kind of a minor screw up where.
It's $125.
It was $125. It was
Is
$5.
this discussion about if it's wrong? What is your point?
It's about so many things.
Okay,
No, I lost it.
Here, let me get it back.
Okay.
I agree, it's unfortunate that she signed up for a thing and didn't go to it, but this seems like an awfully long discussion. I mean, I signed up for a seminar and I didn't go, and my boss still paid for it. I'm just saying.
Our board district policy specifies that we individually do not sign up for things and charge them to the district without the knowledge of the district.
Right, yes,
A
I
board
know.
member is not encouraged, authorized to spend district money without the district knowing that they can sign up, spend their own money, and ask to be reimbursed if it's approved by the board. But they cannot just charge it to the district and ask the district to pay without some pre-approvals. This is exactly what happened.
Okay.
I would imagine that Mrs. Odom is suggesting that she pay the money back, not the district. Is that not correct?
Sorry about that.
Okay, so, all right, so, in short, Mrs. Odom, I think that there was a series of errors in terms of registering for something that led to your being registered for a workshop that you were unable to attend. Is that right? In short, the question is now, does the district pay this, or is this something that unfortunately would be turned back to you? Or is something that you would work out with IASB on your own? Is this correct? I think that's where we are right now. So I guess in terms of giving direction to the superintendent, do we pay this as a board, $125? Do we, is this something that Mrs. Odom works out with the association? I think that's what it really comes down to. Is that right? Anyone?
I think Mrs. Odom made her reservation for this. She paid for it. She had
Okay.
no approval from the board to do this.
All right.
Did she seek your approval?
No. Mr. Simmons? Your opinion on this, or-
I have no opinion on whether Ms. Odom should be responsible for this or not.
Okay. Mrs. Huckabee, you have an opinion?
Well, we're spending a lot of time on this, and bottom line is, if whether it was, she was going to attend this seminar or whatever seminar, she did not intend to do it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I recommend that we pay it and we don't.
Mrs. Odom?
I do agree, regardless of the process that was used or followed for Mrs. Odom to register, she would not have attended. So the question would still be the same, which is, should we pay the $125 because she missed this? I mean, I think it would be great if the IASB would actually would have credited us, you know, this, or there's another way around this. Yeah, I do think, I echo a comment, we spent enough time on this. I don't have any specific, I think I agree with Mr. Simmons, I don't have a specific comments. I think we should, I'll let the rest of the board figure out. I don't think it's that big of an issue as to whether or not we can pay it. I think the bigger question is procedure. And we need to make sure going forward that we are very clear and we are all in agreement on what the process is and we are registering.
Okay, I agree with you on that one. Mrs. Carroll? Okay.
before you register, which again goes back to that conversation, having that 1 to 2 week, which again, it didn't occur to me because it was part of our conference, but that still is a procedure that the conversation about, so we just.
Sure. So do you think we should get this or not?
I think we should try to work something out. I call ISD first to say that we didn't already, and they said, no to that. We got that.
Yeah, there's a 48-hour limit for rule.
We made several calls, or it was emails, right?
But to cancel the reservation or to ask them to.
We tried to waive it so we didn't have to pay,
And they said no.
because it was within that 48-hour window. That was the hope that they would have done.
Wow. We spend a lot of money on the picture.
Sure. Okay, so, looking at this, if we made one more call, and they said, no, sorry, too bad, so sad, is this something you can support? Ed, or?
Whether we have a procedure that says that
So, no. So, no, opinion, yes, or no?
I'm saying it has to be paid.
Okay,
So, and we're talking back about reputation. We need to take care of this. We need to have, I think, procedural discussions outside of when it comes up for invoices. We need to, somewhere we're going to need to schedule that, because we cannot go through 30 minutes and hours discussions about procedure for invoices. So we're going to have to address that piece, but we need to get this invoice paid, especially if you're saying that all have been seeking a credit for this. Because we spent a great deal of money in district as with the IS and I just can't see them sweating us for this amount of money. So is any letters went out besides phone calls? And if the letters went to them, asking them to please credit us based on the fact that we have had numerous seminars and our membership with them, et cetera, exceeds back to this date, time, and years, and blah, 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 has a letter.
No, just an email asking them to credit us
Okay,
for the
well, I
bill.
think that a letter should go out at least one more attempt to try to address this.
Stephen, I'm sorry, the bill is an IDS, is in our department,
Yes.
that is our reputation and our credit, so.
okay.
All right,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Yeah, that's the only reason I said that, because it's in our name. It's
Okay.
not in her name, it's in our name.
All right. Mrs. Odo, do you have an opinion on this one way or the other? Whether the district should, not?
Yeah, my opinion is that it be paid.
Okay, I support that, so, Garvey,
Why don't we do a motion, if you don't mind?
Oh, yeah, that's
So
fine.
that we can pay that.
yes, right, so, I will make a motion, that we go ahead and, pay that bill to IASB for $125. And it's,
I second it.
is there any sense of that? number?
125, let me look for sure.
Okay. So again, I make a motion that the district pay the $125 to IESB for that workshop.
And again, I second it.
Okay, second, second.
Okay.
So,
Carol?
Yes.
Simmons?
No.
Oda?
Odo?
Should we lose it?
No. Odo, you can hear.
Yes.
Mrs. Oda?
Yes.
Mrs. Oda? I'm here. Oh, okay, and we're voting, and what is your vote?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Marks? No. Fourth?
Only because it's in the district's name. Yes.
Huckabee?
Same thing, it's in the district's name, same.
Paredes?
Yes, the motion is passed. Next on the agenda,
Is it, I think, something to put something on the agenda, just for future, we need to go through our practice, our procedures in open session once again about what we're supposed to be doing when it comes to professional education, sign up for things, and the consequence of at least having in there that if you choose to sign up and something that will come to you, you pay it, we need to have that.
Okay,
Because
sure.
I honestly would vote no to that, and say it has to be paid, this isn't our department.
Okay,
Why
why
not?
don't, why don't we go into our Cal, I believe that's next week. Yes,
I would agree with that, and I think the key term you used is again. We've had that discussion ad nauseam in open session. It seems that it still is not clear to the full.
The consequence piece, that consequence, if I do that, we have to come out. Yeah, okay, so if in this situation again, it is, I'm saying, the person said, no, we shouldn't pay it, and I'm going, oh, this is in our name, we can ask to pay, and it says, no, it's still in our name, our credit, which is the reason I said yes, but we have an outline to say, if you sign up for something without previous approval, and we don't approve this, we need to pay. And
That's in our board policy.
Okay, so we can review that piece again, because I
All right.
don't remember that.
well, why don't we do this, why don't we review that at the next Cal?
Thank you.
All right,
I have a question on that. How long has Ms. Odom been on the board?
Oh, she's been here for coming on 8 years now, has served very faithfully, and has been a huge asset in terms of her involvement with the association.
So she would be aware of that policy.
You'd have to ask her that yourself.
Is she aware of that policy?
You know what, generally speaking, we're not really entertaining questions from the audience, past audience. You are certainly free to call her.
What, do you have her number?
You can get that through her email on the board website.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda, approval of payroll. I will entertain a motion to approve payroll. Okay, approve payroll in the amount of $461,176.56 for the month of July. Mrs. First. Mrs. Carroll is second. Any discussion? Mrs. Britta, please roll call.
Okay, Marks?
Yes.
Odom?
Yes.
Simmons?
Yes.
Huckabee? Yes. Barth?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Paredes?
Yes, the motion is passed. Next on the agenda is the approval to adjust the 2015-2016 construction amendment to reflect actual expenditures. I call for a motion to approve adjusting the 2015-2016 budget amendment in the capital projects fund to adjust expenditure lines for the asbestos abatement and pipe replacement at Norman B. Villa to the actual amount of $220,560. Mrs. Harrell is.
Yes.
Mrs. Harrell is first. Second by Mrs. Horth. Any questions?
If you came under, is that how we're going to do this?
It's come under, so we will, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have a roll call, Mrs. Brina?
Simmons?
Yes.
Odom?
Yes.
Carol? Yes. Marks?
Yes.
Barth?
Yes.
Huckabee?
Yes.
Paredes?
Yes, the motion is passed. Next on the agenda, we have approval of resolution regarding hazardous bus routes. Call for a motion to approve the resolution regarding hazardous bus routes as presented. Okay, Mrs. Harrell's first, and second, Mrs. Huckabee. Do you have any questions?
Any change from last year?
No, it has not changed at all. And usually we do this in June. June. We are doing this now, so as part of our transportation report, you'll see this in June of next year. So we've done a review of the district, and we believe that things are going well. We always want to mention. Yes.
These hazardous routes, they apply to properties.
Yes.
We have a roll call, Mrs. Brino.
Okay, Harold,
Yes.
Schwartz? Yes. Huckabee?
Yes.
Odom? Odom?
Jake, you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yes.
Simmons?
Yes.
Marks?
Yes.
Paredes?
Yes, and the motion is passed. Next on the agenda is the approval of National Investigations Incorporated to Residency Matters. I will entertain a motion to approve National Investigations Incorporated to handle its residency matters, or handle the residency matters for the district. That's a better way to put that. Mrs. Huckabee is first.
You should actually.
Second, Mrs. Harrell. Are there any questions? Yes, Mr. Simmons.
So essentially, we're outsourcing this aspect of our district operations that we heretofore, at least since I've been here, have done in-house because we have professionals either retire or move into other roles. And the net cost we anticipate is being a wash. Is that correct?
The net cost is a wash. Our person, Officer Stavolo, was here. I don't know if you had an opportunity to meet him. He was fantastic. So we brought in another gentleman to do it last year. He's asked if he could just be a security guard, and he didn't quite like it. So we went out and we had a retired police officer, and he thought he was going to accept the position, and he had something go wrong personally. So what I did is I reached out to a couple of companies. This one is highly recommended. They're very aggressive, maybe too harsh of a term, but they really go after people who are trying to be dishonest with the school district. Vigilant. Vigilant, yes. So we're very pleased with that. The record is good as far as making sure that people who are not paying taxes in the school district.
Any other questions or discussion?
Yes, I have a question. Who owns this company?
I believe his name is Bill Bittler.
And where,
I'm sorry, you missed that last part.
No, we just did a search, and actually we went out and asked other school districts what they were doing, or who they used, and this one came back as well as stealth investigator. So this one was really highly recommended. We met with the person, and excellent, we're impressed.
How much do we actually spend on that service a year?
Stephen?
It depends. Right now, I think we have 12 cases that we're looking at that we have red flagged through registration, and once approved tomorrow morning, this company will get that. Those 12 names and start with them.
So in the past, how much was on that service to go at? I don't know that bill, that line item.
Hour-wise, what do you think hour-wise? 500 to 800 hours max a year, it depends. But our other person did a little bit more, so this would strictly be.
I'm asking about, when we're talking about, we're putting a firm, that, I actually know how much we think we're gonna pay an external firm to do this type of work. And the only reason I'm asking that, let me give you the reason why I'm asking that. When we talk about going out to bid, we do that for larger things, so in my mind, if this is a larger type, I want to know if you're, just being fair, honest, doing the best part of it. So that's the only reason I'm asking
It'll
that.
depend on the number of cases, but historically, I mean, just the whole of last year, it was somewhere around 22,000 a day.
With the firm, it will probably be about at that or more.
I would hope we would be less than that, because last year wasn't as much.
This is 1 year agreement.
It's a 1 year
Is there a clause that if there is a significant complaint from the board or something that we could exit this contract? Or is this binding for?
I believe there's a 30-day notice, and then after that, no. But, yeah.
Any other questions or comments? We roll call, Mrs. Marino.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Mr. Davis. We had a question from the audience. Is the number of the contract $20,000? We couldn't, in all that discussion, it wasn't clear what the actual cost of this was.
You know what, Mr. Nelson, can you?
Yeah, whatever.
It's not a contract for set amount of money. It's
No,
not,
it's
it's a
a
per
per-
instance. So saying we're going to pay Max 12 per instance.
My question was just historically, how much are we paying? And Fran answered that, Ms. Lavelle answered that question and said, Mr. Boyer, about 22, it ends up being about 22,000. We expect it to pay less, but yeah, this is a person.
Thank you.
Is that
It's $40 an hour per. Yep. All right, good, have that choice. We want him to choice.
Okay, Mrs. Marino, we roll call.
I already started, so we'll continue with Odom,
No,
Carol,
Yes.
Marks,
Yes.
Simmons,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Paredes,
Yes, and the motion is passed. Next on the agenda, we have approval of closed minutes. Approval of closed minutes, 18 months or less, to be released, to be kept confidential. I will call for a motion to approve the closed minutes, 18 months or less, to be released, to be kept confidential as presented. Mrs. Worth?
Second.
Second, Mrs. Huckabee. Are there any discussions, any questions? We roll call, Mrs. Marino.
okay, Odom,
yes,
Carol,
Yes.
Huckabee,
Yes.
Simmons,
Yes.
Marks,
Yes.
Paredes,
Yes,
Ford.
Yes.
the motion is passed. Next on the agenda, we have approval to destroy the closed minutes audio in accordance with board policy 220. After 18 months have passed since being made, the audio recordings of a closed meeting is destroyed, provided the board approved. 1, its destruction, and 2, minutes of the particular closed meeting. I entertain a motion to All right, I will entertain a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendation to destroy minutes that are approved for construction. Audio, sorry.
This would be minutes, the fact that we have minutes, that's right? We maintain written.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so this is Harold. Second, Mrs. Huckabee. Any questions, discussion? Mrs. Bruno?
Okay, Marks,
Yes.
Odom,
yes,
Huckabee,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Simmons,
Yes.
Paredes.
Yes, and the motion is passed. Next on the agenda, we have executive session. We will be entering into executive session to discuss matters related to personnel 5 ILCS 122C1 and negotiations 5 ILCS 120/2C2. I suspect it will be about an hour, and I will entertain a motion to go into executive session. This is Harold. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say nay. Ayes Ayes have it, moving to executive session. Back in open session. Next on the agenda, we have approval of the personnel report. I will call for a motion to approve the personnel report as presented.
Make motion to accept, approve it.
Mrs. Harold,
I second.
second by Mrs. Hoyle. Any comments or questions?
I just want to make a statement, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I know there's some community members here that have sent emails to the Board of Education and myself about a particular candidate, and there was not a reply back. Some of my board members replied back. I did not reply back to any. I had approximately 17 of those, and it wasn't because I read everything that you had sent. It wasn't that I was ignoring you. It's just it's a personnel issue. It's a situation, and we looked at different things. What happened is after there was a resignation from Mr. Nemitzky, we started the process, and during that process, we ended up having a recommended candidate come to me, and there was an interview, and with that person is being recommended this evening for the personnel report. We appreciate your information, your communications, and it was not taken lightly, our decision that was made today, so thank you.
Can you share how many candidates were interviewed for the position?
I can. We had 9 total interviews, and there were 40 people who applied for the position.
And when was it originally posted?
August 1st. August 1st.
Yeah, August 1st.
Did the interviews happen before the closing date of the posting?
Check on that.
No,
We're not-
you would know right now, Craig, if you open up your phone and look at your calendar for the day the UFP doesn't schedule.
I was.
Did interviews happen the day before August 11th? So if so, they would not follow school code for the posting.
I would have to check. Thank you.
Kathy, do you have a calendar on your computer right there, access to it? Because you would be able to see when the interviews were scheduled.
You know what, at this time, thank the audience for their comments and their involvement and support. But we will be continuing with our meeting. With that, Mrs. Perino, if there are no further comments from the board, Mrs. Perino, we roll call.
Sure. Carol?
Yes.
Simmons?
Yes.
Marks?
Yes.
Worth?
Yes.
Huckabee?
Yes.
Paredes?
Yes, and the motion is passed. I will entertain.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Mr. Kennedy,
Yes.
would you like to introduce your new assistant principal?
Yes, I would.
And I know you have some staff here as well.
Yeah. Sitting right next to me is Shamika Fountain. She comes to us from McKinley School in the South Holland District. I've had great reviews from the references on her, and we're very fortunate to have her.
We certainly look forward to her addition to our district, and we are thrilled to have you here, and we look forward to great things.
Ms. Fountain, do you mind coming up here saying a few words and shaking hands with our board members? Yes.
Good evening to the Board of Education, to all of our parents. My name is Shamika Fountain. I am in my 16th year of education, all of which I have spent in the junior high setting. I was an 8th grade teacher for 10 years, RTI coordinator for 3 years, and I was also assistant principal at McKinley School for 2 years. I am excited about starting this school year here in Flossmoor School District 161. I am definitely invested in the education of all of our children and will do my very best to make sure that we service all of our children, because I believe every child has the opportunity to learn and to have the best possible education we can provide for them. I thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to working with you, with the parents, with the community, so that we can make sure that all the students in 161 are prepared for this ever-changing technological world. Thank you so much for accepting me and allowing me to be a part of District 161.
Thank you very much. I will now entertain a motion to end this meeting of the Board of Education. Zero, and Mrs. Huckabee. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it.